Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Deva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavatu Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, entitled Narad's Instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasa Dev, text 32 onwards. Etam samsuchitam brahman tapatraya chakitsikam yadishvare bhagavati karma brahmani bhavitam. So Narada Muni is further saying, O Brahman Vyasadeva, it is decided by the learned that the best remedial measure for removing all troubles and miseries is to dedicate one's activities to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. So best remedial measure for removing all troubles and miseries is to engage in the service of Krishna. Purport. Shri Narada Muni personally experienced that the most feasible and practical way to open the path of salvation or get relief from all miseries of life is to hear submissively the transcendental activities of the Lord from the right and bona fide sources. This is the only remedial process. The entire material existence is full of miseries. Foolish people have manufactured out of their tiny brains many remedial measures for removing the threefold miseries pertaining to the body and mind, pertaining to the natural disturbances, and in relation with other living beings. The whole world is struggling very hard to exist out of these miseries, but men do not know that without the sanction of the Lord, no plan or no remedial measure can actually bring about the desired peace and tranquility. The remedial measure to cure a patient by medical treatment is useless if it is not sanctioned by the Lord. The attempt to cross a river or ocean by a suitable boat will fail if it is not sanctioned by the Lord. And parents' attempt to protect their children cannot succeed if it is not sanctioned by the Lord. We should know that Lord is the ultimate sanctioning officer, and we must therefore dedicate our attempts to the mercy of the Lord for ultimate success, or to get rid of the obstacles on the path of success. So Prabhupada, Narada Muni is stressing, and Prabhupada is also clearing it in the purport, that only way to get out of the miseries of this material world is to dedicate one's life to the service of the Lord. Because only by sanctioning of the Supreme Lord, all these miseries can go away. Otherwise, we can keep on trying for the rest of our lives. And we have been trying for so many lives. But the miseries, especially adibhautik, adhyatmik, adhyatmic miseries, they can't just go away. Moreover, but that doesn't mean the devotees who are serving the Lord, they don't have miserable situations. They don't undergo any miseries. They don't have any problems. They do have problems. But one thing is, that just like we were discussing yesterday, Ashok Prabhu also stressed on it, that all the miseries subside or our threshold increases. Krishna can kick out all the miseries from our life. What's the big deal for him? Threshold can increase, miseries can also go down, our karmas can be wiped out if he wants. But if he wants, he can give us more surrender. That's up to his discretion. But even if somebody is outwardly suffering in devotional life, inside he's always very happy because he knows he's under the protection of Krishna. He knows he will be taken care of by Krishna, because this is what Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman pariteje mam ekam sharanam raja. Aham tvam sarva mokshishyami ma shucha. So this is a guarantee that Krishna gives. So we have to take his guarantee. Otherwise, in the material world, so many people give different kinds of guarantee. But what's the use of that? What's the what's the validity of that guarantee? We cannot ascertain that. But if Krishna gives guarantee, Krishna, in many places in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling Arjuna, just like he says one place, Man manabha mad bhakto madhyadi mam namaskuru, mame vaishyati satyam te, pratijane priyasina. He is saying, by I'm telling you the truth. By truth, you will come back to me. Just do these 4 activities. Even Krishna has to stress, I'm telling you the truth. Just like we also say, na, मैं इसकी कसम खा के कहता हूँ, मैं सच बोल रहा हूँ. I swear, I'm telling the truth. Krishna knows people in Kali Yuga will not believe him. Especially, he knows that those who are born in Mathura, even today, people don't believe them. So Krishna was born in Mathura. So they have very credibility. Then Krishna had to tell Arjuna, please, for truth, I'm telling you for certainly, I'll take you back. And not just him, anybody who follows this process of bhakti. And also at the time when Krishna tells Arjuna, he is telling Arjuna, okay, you declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Because he knew people don't really trust people born in Mathura. Somehow Mathura has this, the water of Mathura or the land of Mathura is like that. People don't trust them. So Krishna says, I know people won't trust me, but if you declare it, and they know I keep the word of my devotees, I'll definitely protect my devotees. So Krishna's guarantee is definitely there. He has always protected his devotees. Maybe not protected the body of the devotees, like Abhimanyu case, he let Abhimanyu die in the battlefield. But regardless, he always protects his devotees. Abhimanyu's role was that much only in the war. So he played his role and he was out. That's it. But Krishna's guarantee is always there. Other guarantee, even if it is any LIC policy we take or any insurance policy we take or any personal guarantee by somebody, it's not worth it. So we better surrender to Krishna and we take shelter of his lotus feet, shelter of the lotus feet of his disciples or devotees. Then we will be all protected, all taken care of. Of course, miseries or problems or issues will be there, but either they will be lessened or our threshold will increase to take care of those problems also. And Prabhupada nicely writes, the remedial measure to cure a patient by medical treatment is useless if it is not sanctioned by the Lord. See, if it was not possible that if it was possible just with medical treatment we could cure a patient, then all the rich people won't die. They have so much money, they can take the best medical treatment available in the world, but they all die if they are not sanctioned by the law. So medical is important, particularly healing or curing will be done by the Supreme Lord or the energy of the Supreme Lord, not by the medicines. So this is what Prabhupada is stressing on, that one must dedicate everything in the service of the Lord. If one is a learned scholar, scientist, philosopher, poet, etc., then he should employ his learning to establish the supremacy of the. Try to study the energy of the Lord in every sphere of life. Do not decry him and try to be like him. Take his position simply by fragmental accumulation of knowledge. So this is what Prabhupada, everybody should use everything in service of all one's capabilities, all one's knowledge, everything that one has. Because ultimately everything comes from the Lord only. That's a way of prosperity, and that is a remedial measure for all the miseries of material existence. The word samshuchitam in this stanza is also significant. One should not think for a moment that the realization of Narad was childish, imagination only. It's not like that. It's so realized by the expert and erudite scholars, and that is a real import of the word, samshuchitam. The word comes in the shloka, means It was realization of Narada Muni. And Narada Muni, although he was 5-year-old boy, but he was fully realized at that time. So it was complete realization. It was not childish imagination. Text 33. Amyo yascha bhutanam gayate yena suvrita tadevi amayam dravyam napunati chikitsitam. O good soul, does not a thing applied therapeutically cure disease which was caused by that very same thing? Prabhupada in the example, in the purport gives the example, milk preparation sometimes cause disorder of the bowels, but the very same milk converted into yogurt and mixed with some other remedial ingredients cures such disorders. So the example, Narada Muni said that, and Prabhupada is giving this example. Why? Means it is by hearing, by shabd, we come into this material world. Our conditioning starts with hearing. And same hearing, if we apply towards hearing the pastimes, the name, form, qualities of Krishna, then the same hearing can liberate us, can elevate us, can liberate us. So that's an example Prabhupada is giving. Milk preparation sometimes cause disorder of the bowels, but the same milk converted into yogurt and mixed with some other remedial ingredients can cure such disorders. The threefold miseries of material existence cannot be mitigated simply by material activities. So if we think by doing material activities, we can get out of this material world, not going to happen. We have to spiritualize. Such activities have to be spiritualized. Just as fire is made red hot, and thereby the action of fire begins. So by giving example of iron rod is iron, but when the iron rod is put in fire and when it is really red hot, although it looks like iron, but it acts like fire. So similarly, our body, when it is material body, it acts for the fulfillment of material desires. But the same body, when it is used in the service of Krishna, for the spiritual practices, slowly, the same body starts becoming spiritualized. Same body, mind, intelligence, it starts becoming spiritualized. So with that spiritual body, we get out of the material world. Same material world can keep us here, material consciousness can keep us here. Spiritualize the body, we can get out of it. The same body can be used to make us out. The same body can be used to make us take more and more births again. We should not try to lord over the material nature, nor should we reject material things. The best way to make use of it is to use everything based on the supreme spiritual. Everything that we have can and should be used in the service of Krishna. Everything is an emanation from the Supreme Spirit, and by His inconceivable power, He converts spirit into matter, and matter into spirit. Therefore, a material thing, so that one turns into a spiritual force by the great will of the Lord. Necessary condition for such a change is to employ so-called matter in the service of the Spirit. That is a way to treat our material diseases and elevate ourselves to the spiritual plane where there is no misery, no lamentation, and no fear. So this is the process. So we use everything in the service of the Lord. Everything can be spiritualized or become spiritualized, and it helps us in spiritualizing our consciousness, in purifying us, and helps us in going back to God. And when we are completely purified, then we don't belong to the material world. We belong to the spiritual world. Evam nrinam kriya yoga sarve sriti va evatma vinashaya kalpante kalpitaha pare. Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. So fruitive work which has perpetually engaged the living being is compared to the banyan tree in the Bhagavad Gita. It's in the chapter 15. For it is certainly very deeply rooted. As long as the propensity for enjoying the fruit of work is there, one has to continue the transmigration of the soul from one body or place to another, according to one's nature of work. The propensity for enjoyment may be turned into the desire for serving the mission of the Lord. By doing so, one's activity is changed into karma yoga, or the way by which one can attain spiritual perfection while engaging in the work for which he has a natural tendency. So this is very simply Prabhupada has put. We want to work, the propensity to work is there. So why not use the same propensity in the service of Krishna, work for Krishna. And when we work for Krishna, the activity, material activity, then it is converted in karma yoga. Then we are doing work for Krishna. So it's yoga. Yoga means the link, we establish the link in Krishna. That can elevate us. The conclusion is that when the whole is service law, it will cease to generate the karma and gradually develop into transcendental service. It will not only cut off completely the root of the banyan tree of work, but will also carry the performer to the lotus feet of the Lord. Very important for us to understand. So how do we go about it? Summary is that one has to first of all seek the association of pure devotees who are not only learned in the Vedanta but are self-realized souls and unalloyed devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. In that association, the neophyte devotees must render loving service physically and mentally without reservation. This service attitude will induce the great souls to be more favorable in bestowing their mercy, which injects a neophyte with all the transcendental qualities of the pure devotees. So this is the way of making advancement. When we take the guidance from self-realized souls and unalloyed devotees, and we render service physically and mentally, then this service, not by our service will make progress. It's our service attitude will induce the great souls to more in their mercy. So by their mercy, we can make advancement. Gradually, this is developed into a strong attachment to hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. And slowly, slowly, we make progress up to the stage of bhav and prem. So this is the process. So just like it is said, there are two kinds of perfected human beings. One is those who are sadhana siddh, who become perfect by their own sadhana, by their own chanting, hearing, service, and all other processes. And the others are those who become perfect as kripa, by kripa siddh. So our process, the process of bhakti especially, is the process of mercy. The mercy doesn't mean we don't do anything. Mercy means we do services, understanding just by these services, just by chanting, just by reading, just by hearing, I will not make the progress, I will not go back to Godhead. By our sincere attempt to chant properly, to read properly, to speak properly, to serve properly, to associate properly, we invoke the mercy of superiors, invoke the mercy of self-realized souls and pure devotees, and by that mercy is, and Krishna also cannot reject the person. If a pure devotee recommends us to Krishna, Krishna, this is a very good devotee, very good preacher, or whatever, Krishna cannot reject that person. He has to. This is a more effective way of reaching Krishna. Yadatra kriyate karma bhagavad paritoshnam jnanam yattadhitinam he bhakti yoganvikam. The work is done here in this life, satisfaction, the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga or transcendental loving service to the Lord. And what is called knowledge becomes concomitant factor. The general and popular notion is that disheartening fruit work in terms of direction of the scriptures, one becomes perfectly able to acquire transcendental knowledge for spiritual realization. Bhakti Yoga is considered by some to be another form of karma, but actually Bhakti Yoga is above both karma and jnana. Bhakti is independent of jnana or karma. On the other hand, jnana and karma are dependent on Bhakti Yoga. So this is the secret. Like earlier also this verse had come that Vasudeva Bhakti Yoga Adokshaya Janati Ashu Vairagya Jnanam Chayad Ahataka. It's one who is engaged in bhakti service, loving devotional service to Vasudeva, Krishna. Very soon in his heart, Vairagya and Gyan, it will arise. It will develop very soon. So Gyan and Vairagya or Karma and Gyan, they are dependent on Bhakti, Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti is not dependent on Karma or Gyan. Bhakti is completely independent actually. Bhakti is our loving service with Krishna, loving devotional service to Krishna. And it is above the material karma and material jnana. Prabhupada is giving nice example here. The Kriya Yoga or Karma Yoga as recommended by Sri Narada to Vyasa is especially recommended because the principle is to satisfy the Lord. The Lord does not want his sons, the living beings, to suffer the threefold miseries of life. He desires that all of them come to him and live with him. But going back to Godhead means that one must purify himself from material infections. When work is performed, therefore, to satisfy the Lord, the performer becomes gradually purified from the material affection. This purification means attainment of spiritual knowledge. Therefore, knowledge is dependent on karma or work done on behalf of God. Devotee yoga or satisfaction of the Lord cannot lead one back to the kingdom of God, which means that it cannot even offer salvation, as already explained earlier. The conclusion is that Lord's service, specifically in hearing and chanting of his transcendental glories, simultaneously spiritually enlightened by the divine grace as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. So this is the process. We work, we satisfy Krishna, and he gives us the mercy and gives us both Gyan and Vairagya also at the same time, and so make more advance. And this is what Prabhupada is writing. Performer, when one is engaged in service, the performer becomes gradually purified from the material action. So the more we are attached to Krishna, we will be detached from the material world, from the material activities. That is our whole process. So slowly attach ourselves to Krishna. And one thing we have to be careful of when we are working to satisfy Krishna, to serve Krishna, that we don't commit offenses, because offenses, again, big time problem. It's a big obstacle on the path of bhakti. And also, we don't have competition with anybody. Only person we are here to satisfy is Krishna, not anybody else. We are not competing against anybody. We are not competing you are in the material world. We don't have to get a certificate from anybody, all within our heart. Like Bhagavatam later on in 11th canto, that just like if a person who's hungry, when he starts eating, So with every morsel of food that goes in, his hunger subsides, he gets satisfaction, and his body gets nourished. Nobody has to tell him that your hunger has gone down and your body is nourished and you're satisfied. So these three things happen automatically, and only the person who's eating will know that. So similarly, one who is making progress in bhakti, only he, maybe his guru also knows, and Krishna definitely knows, only he knows that how much attached he is to Krishna and how much detached he is from the material world. Although he might apparently look like he's very much attached to the material world, but inside, one has to see himself how much detached we are. But there is no competition, there is no certificate will be given for that. It just we have to see ourselves, how much attached we are getting to Krishna. So I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
No. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, at the beginning of your lecture, you said that a doctor cannot treat a patient unless and until it is sanctioned by Krishna. How does the doctor know that? He just treats a patient as anybody else?
He treats a patient, but no, it said the patient does not get cured unless it is sanctioned by the Lord. So doctor has to do his duty, but doctor also has to understand he doesn't cure a patient.
That, okay. It's the other way around. I thought that's the other way around. Okay. The patient will be cured only if it is the will of the God. Oh, that every doctor writes in his clinic and that I treat, he cures.
Yeah, but somehow many of them
No, these days when everything is possible. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Just like I met a doctor, and a devotee had come and his arm got fractured, bone was fractured. So the doctor put a cast. He put the bones together and he put a cast on it. Although doctor devotee, Prabhuji, so how does this bone get joined? I mean, you just put you just set the bones together. How does it get connected? In the material outside world, we see if you put two pipes together, they are not going to get connected until we weld them. So he openly said, Prabhuji, we just set the bones together, we put the cast on it, only Krishna joins them. We don't join them. We can give medicine, we can give nutrients or vitamins, only Krishna joins them. So he's a devotee, so he believes in that. Any other question or comments? Yes, Shitish Prabhu.
Prabhuji, but we think that Lord doesn't interfere in karma cycle. So, I mean, these things happen due to karmas, or Krishna interferes to change them. Like you told about that Lord sanctions, then only doctor cures.
Patient gets cured. Okay, you're saying because of his karma, he gets cured because of his karma. Yes, but the karma itself, like in Bhagavad Gita also we said, karmane vadikaraste mafaleshu kadachana, means karma itself is not the generator of the results. Results come from Krishna. Just because I have done some karma doesn't mean I'll get equal reaction and whenever I want. It all depends on Krishna when to give us a reaction, how much reaction, It's all up to him. But we still have to do our karma. Is that clear or still some doubt is there?
Yes, Prabhuji, clear.
Thank you, brother.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, brother.
If you say that, we can do the karma, but Krishna is the ultimate sanctioner of the result. He will give it when he wants, where he wants. That means, what's the place of free will? We thought earlier that karma we do, we get the result.
Yeah. But how much result and when and where, we are not the decider of that. No? That's a shloka, no? Karmanyavadikaraste.
No, but this is how we have to ideally act. But when we don't go by the Bhakti Yoga process, and we don't go by the yoga process, and we are just karmis, then we should be getting the results of our karmas according to some already laid down plan. So if somebody keeps on manipulating that plan or altering that plan, then that means we don't have a free will, right?
No, free will is there for us to do our karma. But we cannot force Krishna. I should get the results now or whenever I want.
Yeah, it could be that we have a free will to do only the karma, and the results are not. Then what is that free will?
Free will is to do the karma. Results are not in our hands, and we are not the cause of the results of our karma. But still, we have to do karma.
We do the karma only to get something. When we are karmis, when we are desirous of the fruits, so we know that God has laid down this law of karma.
But does everybody get in proportion to the work he does?
Yeah, that is what I'm asking. If you're saying if ultimately it lies with the Lord, how much of a result He should give you and how much He should give to somebody, that means by acting, we are not acting based on some laid down rules. Lord says you do this, you do this. The whole Vedic ritual is based on this karma khand. Now you do this, you will get this. Now then we also come and say that you do, but then you may get different results. Somebody else may get different.
But it's not like he says then and there you will get it. When you will get it, it's up to him to decide. When it is beneficial for us, or when it is when actually we need it.
Yeah, if he decides that when it is going to be beneficial, I will give to him. When it's not beneficial, he will not give. That means where is our free will?
That means what?
No, if Lord is going to decide what is beneficial for us, what is not beneficial for us, I will give him this much result only now. Later on, I will give this much result. That means if I am engaged in bhakti, he has that that decision to make on behalf of me. But when I am not in bhakti, I am simply a karmi.
No. Karmi or bhakti, rule is the same.
Means the Lord controls.
That's what he is. He's Parmeshwara. He's the supreme controller.
Ultimately, the ultimate control is with him, and he is not giving us any control.
Only control we have is we can just desire. That's a minute independence we got. Even ability to work comes from him.
Okay.
Intelligence comes from him.
Right.
Everything comes from him. The body functions because of his mercy. Otherwise, body can stop functioning.
Right.
what are we so much proud of? The ingredients he gives, all the material energy comes from him. All the this ingredient, like fruits, flowers, trees, air, water, sunlight, everything comes from him. Our body comes from him. We're made of 8 elements. All 8 elements belong to him. The soul also belongs to him. So how can we say karma is because I am doing? The energy, the capability going to move a finger comes from him.
Yeah, but then we are now not understanding that. We are acting as though we are the body and we are the controllers. And when we are acting in that consciousness, then the results should come according to a laid down rule. That is what we call law of karma. So when we are subjected to the law of karma, then how can God come and interfere and say this much karma results I'll give you, this much I cannot give you?
See, even if somebody believes or not believes that everything comes from him, actually everything comes from him. So basically it is our desire, our means the soul also which belongs to him. The minute desire, suppose I have a minute desire to go and kill somebody. Of course, it's a big desire, but for me, it's a minute. But do I have the capability of killing somebody if Lord doesn't sanction? No. I mean, my hand even won't move if it doesn't let me. So, but does it mean I will get the reaction right away? In what proportion I will get? Because it's his property, we have moved. Means the body is his property. Whether I believe, whether I'm a karmi or devotee or jnani or atheistic or agnostic, whatever, hardly matters. So the body moved according to his will. Man proposes, God disposes. So I killed somebody. He got killed according to his will, Krishna's will. So now I have to get the reaction. Now it depends on lots of factors. Whether it was a karmic reaction to that person, whether I use my free will to kill that person, and how much force I used, whatever. There's so many things involved. So he gives a reaction accordingly. Only thing we have to understand, we will get the reaction. That's for sure. How much? That's up to him. Just like if somebody, just like for example, Yudhishthira Maharaj, also in his kingdom court, 4 murderers were brought in, and they all had got together and killed a person. Yudhishthira Maharaj asked everybody, "What's your varna?" One said, "I am a Brahman, I am a Kshatriya, I am a Vaishya, I am a Shudra." And Yudhishthira Maharaj gave different punishment to all 4. Because Shudra is less intelligent, even less punishment as compared to Kshatriya. And Yudhishthira said, Brahmans not under my jurisdiction, I cannot get his. Again, there is different reaction to the same crime. And moreover, suppose somebody commits a murder and then in the court he is guilty. Yeah, I did it. So the punishment will be less. Even in material court, the punishment will be less. Then compared to if somebody doesn't get guilty, he goes for litigation and then he's proven guilty, his punishment will be more. So same karma, different reaction. So Krishna also considers that. I hope I'm clear.
I still have some questions I will ask you separately.
Okay, I'll try to answer. But Subramaniam Prabhu is here. He's smiling at me. Just please help me out here, Prabhu.
No, I think it was very well illustrated. Yes, I think the question probably Radhaji is asking was how Krishna interferes in terms of our karma. If it is karma, does it interfere in our free will? I think from my whatever understanding I have and from what you said, Raghuji, I think he doesn't still interfere in our what we are going to do. Of course, whether it's pure karma or karma laced with bhakti. Of course, if it is laced with bhakti, our karma level will be in the good nature. But if it's pure karma, obviously it will be of lesser nature. But the Lord doesn't interfere with our karma. He does just interferes, if I understood you correctly, that he just interferes in terms of the quantum and time of fruits. So, I think I don't see any problem here because he still doesn't, if a person is inclined towards bad karma, he doesn't suddenly get into him and prevent him from doing bad karma. He just allows the law of karma to take place. It's only the quantum of reward or punishment or time and place that he decides. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, but that's up to him to decide. It's not up to us to decide.
Yes. No, that's what, from what you said, that's what I get. Yes.
I mean, that's what I have understood from scriptures.
Yes. No, that is perfectly makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. So you all have a wonderful day. Think of this karma and reactions. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much.